started as a whim, something to break the monotony of my routine. My friends had been teasing me for months about my reluctance to date, so I finally gave in. I downloaded the app, scrolled through a few profiles, and landed on someone who seemed intriguing. Her name was Claire. Her bio was brief but witty, her smile warm but not overly polished. We matched, exchanged a few messages, and soon she suggested meeting up. Her confidence was refreshing. I agreed, and we decided on a trendy little cafe downtown. I didn't think much of it at the time, but her insistence on picking the spot was oddly firm. "Trust me," she wrote. "You'll love it." I arrived early. The cafe was quaint, dimly lit, with soft jazz playing in the background. It was the kind of place where strangers could sit in comfortable silence. I texted Claire to let her know I'd gotten a table by the window. She replied immediately, "I'm watching you. You look great." I froze. I glanced around the room, scanning the faces of patrons. A middle-aged couple sat in the corner, a man hunched over his laptop, a barista wiping down the counter. No one seemed to be paying me any attention. Maybe she meant it as a joke. I chuckled nervously and replied, "Haha, good one. See you soon." Minutes passed, then 15, then 30. I was starting to feel foolish sitting there alone. I texted her again, "Hey, are you close?" No response. Another 10 minutes went by before my phone buzzed. "Sorry, running late. Order something for yourself." "I'll be there soon." I sighed and ordered a coffee. I tried to relax, but something about the situation felt off. Her profile had seemed so normal, so safe, but now it felt like a mistake. The cafe door swung open, and I looked up instinctively. A woman walked in, but it wasn't Claire. She was younger, wearing a hoodie that obscured most of her face. She glanced around the room, her gaze lingering on me for a moment before she walked past my table. For some reason, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. An hour had passed. I was ready to leave when my phone buzzed again. "Don't leave. I'm here." My heart skipped a beat. I glanced around again, but no one looked like they were waiting for me. I typed out a reply, "Where are you?" "This isn't funny." Her response came almost immediately, "Outside." I stood, peered out the cafe window, and scanned the street. There were a few people walking by, but no one who looked like Claire, or like they were looking for anyone. I was about to call it a night when I felt a presence behind me. "Hey!" The voice was soft, almost shy. I turned, and there she was, Claire. She looked like her pictures, but something about her seemed wrong. Her smile didn't reach her eyes, and there was a faint, lingering scent of something metallic in the air. "Hi," I managed, forcing a smile. "You made it." "Sorry I'm late," she said, sitting down across from me without another word. Her movements were deliberate, almost rehearsed. We talked, or rather, I tried to. She answered my questions in clipped sentences, her eyes darting around the cafe. She didn't touch the drink she ordered, and when I asked her about it, she just said, "I'm not thirsty." I tried to steer the conversation, to lighten the mood, but every time I asked her something personal, she deflected. Her laugh was hollow, like it was meant to mask something darker. Then, halfway through our stilted conversation, she leaned forward. "Do you ever feel like you're being watched?" she asked. The question caught me off guard. "What do you mean?" She glanced out the window, her fingers tapping rhythmically on the table. "Sometimes I feel like someone's following me, watching me, even when I'm alone." I didn't know what to say. "That's unsettling." She smiled faintly. "It is, but you get used to it." Before I could respond, she stood abruptly. "I need to use the restroom." "Be right back." She walked away, leaving her bag on the chair. I waited, fiddling with my phone, trying to shake the unease creeping over me. 5 minutes passed, then 10. I finally decided to check on her. The restroom was empty. I returned to the table, and her bag was gone. Confused, I looked around the cafe, but she was nowhere to be found. I sat back down, debating whether to text her, when my phone buzzed again. "Thanks for meeting me. Sorry I couldn't stay." Anger and confusion boiled over. I typed back, "What's going on? Why did you leave?" No response. I paid the bill and stepped outside into the cool night air, feeling foolish and a little shaken. The street was eerily quiet, the hum of the city muted. As I walked to my car, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being followed. I glanced over my shoulder, but the sidewalk was empty. I quickened my pace, my heart pounding. When I reached my car, I fumbled with the keys, dropped them, and cursed under my breath. That's when I heard it, a faint whisper just behind me. I spun around, but there was no one there. Just the darkened street and the distant glow of a street lamp. I didn't waste any more time. I got in the car, locked the doors, and sped off. As I drove home, I kept checking the rearview mirror, half expecting to see her, or someone following me. But the road was empty. When I finally got home, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. I locked the door behind me and collapsed onto the couch. My phone buzzed one last time. "You're safe now. Don't go on any more blind dates." I stared at the message, my blood running cold. It was sent from an unknown number. I tried calling the unknown number, but it went straight to voicemail. My hands were trembling, and I was barely able to think straight. How did this person know I was home? And how did they know my number? The message felt like a warning, but it didn't make sense. Was it Claire? Someone else? The whole night had spiraled into something I couldn't comprehend. I decided to distract myself, rationalizing everything. Maybe it was just a prank. Maybe Claire was unhinged or playing some bizarre game. I double-checked the locks on my doors and windows, turned on every light in the house, and settled into bed with the TV on for background noise. Around 2 a.m., I woke up suddenly. I didn't know why at first, but then I realized the TV was off. I never turned it off. My bedroom was pitch black, and the silence was suffocating. I reached for my phone on the nightstand, but it wasn't there. A wave of panic surged through me as I felt around in the dark. Then I heard it, a faint creak like a floorboard shifting under weight. My stomach twisted into knots. I held my breath, listening intently. Another creak, closer this time. I sat up, my pulse thundering in my ears. "Hello?" I called out, my voice cracking. Nothing. The silence stretched, oppressive and thick, until I thought I might go mad. I forced myself to move, reaching for the lamp on the nightstand. As soon as I clicked it on, I saw it. My phone was sitting neatly on the dresser across the room, its screen illuminated. There was a new message. I didn't remember leaving it there. Slowly, I got out of bed, every nerve screaming at me to run, but my curiosity pulling me forward. The message was chillingly simple: "Don't turn around." My breath hitched. My legs felt like lead, and my chest tightened as if the room itself was collapsing inward. I could feel it. Something was behind me. I didn't dare move. Then, as if in a dream, I heard a faint whisper, so close it brushed against my ear. "You shouldn't have stayed." I don't remember much after that. I must have passed out, because when I woke up, it was morning. The lights were still on, and my phone was back on the nightstand. There were no messages, no signs of anyone having been there. I thought about calling the police, but what could I say? That I went on a blind date, and now I'm paranoid? That I might have imagined everything? I checked every lock in the house again, every window, and tried to convince myself it was a nightmare. But that's when I saw it, the note. It was on the kitchen counter, written on a napkin from the cafe. "I'll be seeing you." That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, I've started noticing things. Small objects out of place, shadows where there shouldn't be any, the feeling of eyes on me when I'm alone. I haven't gone back on the app. I haven't even left the house much. And last night, I found another note, tucked under my pillow. "You can't hide forever." I don't know who, or what, is doing this, but I can feel them closing in. It's not just paranoia anymore. There's something out there, and it's waiting for me to make the next move. The worst part? I still don't know if Claire was ever real.